an example of building sort of a sweeping railing, guardrail, sort of half wall situation at this entry. So we can technically curve beams. This beam, for example, if I wanted it to follow that curve, it would work. However, if the beam needs to slope, an example from there to here, a sloping beam cannot be curved. It can be arched, but you'll never be able to get a sloping, curving beam to fit as an operator for that. So the solution for this, if I take my railing tool and very simply just go through the railing tool, make sure it's set up correctly. Here I only need this single rail, a top rail. The rail is set to be 2 inches by 9 inches. That matches the profile of the wall cap that's being used at the porch. It's a simple square. Posts are turned off. All of my connections for the top rail are set to 0. Let's see what else in here is relevant. The node should be set to smooth connections everywhere. And then the ends, set that end to extend whatever the distance is that it needs to. Okay, so once all of that is set, the easiest way to do this is to just draw from point A to point B. There's my rail. The other thing that I set in here is the under the segment. So it's 9 inches wide. Is it 9 inches? Yeah. So this might be a little bit off, basically offsetting the reference line so that when I go from point A to point B and then curve this to match that wall, ideally it should extend into there. Let me get rid of this. We'll just see. Looks like I might need to finesse that just a little bit, and then it also wants to go to the bottom of the rail, so I do have to drop that down just a little bit more. We'll drop it to here. And then we'll adjust, maybe it needs to be 4 1/4. See if that gets us there. There we go. So now we're extending beyond on both sides. It's not quite dialed in here, so it might be a matter of using a slab or something or adjusting this beam here as the operator to trim this. But at the very least, this gets me really quickly into a situation where I can set this as the operator, these as the targets, and subtract to that to clean that up. So at least for a schematic model, I have a rail cap that follows that curve pretty accurately. And from any 1/4 inch elevation perspective, it's probably as close as it needs to get.